What a crowd, huh? We are here to acclaim and honor Pam Shriver and Mats Wilander, and now I'd like you to meet one of the greatest Hall of Famers of all, our host, Tony Traver.
Thank you very much, Bud, and welcome to the 2002 enshrinement ceremonies of the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Today we'll be honoring two terrific tennis players on the hallowed grounds of the Newport Casino. On these grounds, the very first United States National Championships were played. Our two enshrinees have an exciting history with that tournament, now known as the U.S. Open. But those aren't the only accomplishments. They are just part of the reason why we are honoring them here today. To help us enshrine Mats and Pam, some very special people are here who help them set goals and achieve dreams. It is my pleasure to introduce some of the special guests seated on our Bill Talbert Stadium court. Tickets to this event went very fast this year, and part of the reason is the number of friends of Mats and Pam's who insisted on being here for this very special day. Some traveled from other countries just to enjoy and celebrate the accomplishments of these two talented tennis players. At this time, I would like to ask all the friends here to celebrate Mats and Pam to please rise. The friends, a big group. We welcome you and hope you'll enjoy your day. Then there's the family. They see us at our best, and they see us at our worst. And they still support, encourage, and love us no matter what. Today we have a lot of family here to celebrate the accomplishments of their family members. May I ask the families of our enshrinees to please stand. Welcome. We're also very honored today to have the United States Tennis Association's Board of Directors here. I would first like to ask the Chairman and President of the USTA, Mr. Merv Heller, to please stand. Now I'd like to ask all the members of the USTA Board to please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much for being here. Usually this ceremony lasts about an hour. That's a small part of the two-day celebration held here annually. Seated to my left are a group of individuals who spend countless hours, days, months, and years making this place the finest institution for celebrating the history of tennis, past and present. Please join me in welcoming the International Tennis Hall of Fame's Executive Committee. Please rise. Thank you very much. We salute you. And now for our official party seated directly behind me. The first member of our official party, the chairman of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, Jan Leschly. Next, I'd like to introduce the individuals who will be introducing our new enshrinees. Match coach, Jan Anders Sjogren. And Pam's favorite doubles partner and a 2000 Hall of Famer, Martina Navratilova. We also have some Hall of Famers here that I'd like to introduce. The Rosebud of Tennis, elected in 1996, Hall of Famer, Rosie Casals. A premier tennis broadcaster and writer, elected in 1994, Bud Collins. A champion of the game behind the scenes, elected in 1990, and Chairman Emeritus of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, Mr. Joe Coleman. The champion of the Battle of the Sexes and Title IX, the 1987 Hall of Famer, Billie Jean King. One of 9 people to win Wimbledon on his first try, 1976 Hall of Famer, Dick Savitt. And the man who John McEnroe finally tied for the most Davis Cup matches played, 1971 Hall of Famer, Vic Seixas. Our 1989 Hall of Famer was clever enough to win Wimbledon on the Queen's 25th anniversary. Please welcome Virginia Wade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor Mats and his fellow countrymen, please rise for the Swedish national anthem, performed by Michelle Passarelli.
How ancient thou freeborn, thou mountainous Lord, in beauty and peace their hearts beguiling. I greet thee, O loveliest land on the earth, thy sun, thy skies, thy verdant meadows smiling. Thy sun, thy skies, thy verdant meadows smiling. Thy throne rests on memories from great days of yore, when worldwide renown was valor's burden. I know to thy name thou art true as before. Oh, I would live and I would die in Sweden. Yes, I would live and I would die in Sweden.
Thank you, Michelle. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. We are lucky today to have Matt's favorite coach with us. Coaches do more than just coach. They are cheerleaders, drill sergeants, compassionate advisors, and a constant source of support in both good and bad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jan Anders Sjögren. John.
Thank you, Tony. This is a great moment for me to give you some remarks about Mats. I met him first time when he was 12 years old, and I saw him play tennis, and I asked, what is this? He never missed the ball. And then, when he was 15, he started. I was a Davis Cup captain in that time, and I took him when he was 16 to the Davis Cup. And he played his first match when he was 16. He played McNamara, Australian, and he did an unbelievable job. He lost. But then I have to speak about Paris. We went there after 30 hours by car, and Mats started to win first match. And we had a press meeting. It was 2 people from Sweden outside the press center. The year before, Björn Borg won, and it was like 30 people from Sweden. And they said, oh, we will never win a Grand Slam more for Sweden. But Mats won and won and won. And we came to the match in semifinal, and Mats played Clerk, and he won that match. But many of you maybe remember that the umpire, the well-known Mr. Dorfman said, game, set, match, Wilander. But Wilander said, no, the ball was out. And Mr. Dorfman said, game, set, match, Wilander. But Mats played another match point and he won it. And I think that's I want to say that because I think during his whole career, he always had fair play, sportsmanship, and he was very quiet and no big words. And I think, and I hope he will live with that. He won Paris on clay, and then he has to start to play good tennis, even on this surface, grass. We went to Australia, and we stayed there like 1 month before. And then Mats started to play very good on grass. He beat McEnroe, he beat Landell, and he won Australian Open on grass. He liked to improve his game. So that's the reason he could play on grass. He was not the best grass player, but he played some deep volleys, very slow. The other guys, they couldn't pass him. And the third is, we talked about that me and his manager or people around him, that now you can be number one. But Mats never listened about that. He didn't play for that, and he never answered about it. But then something changed when he moved to Connecticut and he married Sonia, and he got this hunger to win US Open. He lost the final against Landell, and then he beat Landell 88, and he beat him because he wanted to improve his tennis. He needed to slice the ball and come into the net, serve good, and he did it in one of the best matches I ever seen. So that's what I speak about. I have seen him play 600 matches about. So I'm very proud, and it's a great honor for me to come here and see Mats get a member of Hall of Fame. Please welcome Mats Wilander.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to start off by thanking my coach, John Anders. I think you were, a coach is maybe not the right word. I think you're a friend, you're a father. You showed me what the integrity of the game is all about. And that point when I gave away to Jose Luis Clark, my 2 older brothers wanted to kill me because this is the pros. And I know Jonte definitely thought I should give the point back. And I think that the most important part about tennis for me is the relationship between 2 players. I think that's why tennis is such a special sport. You have it in boxing, you have it in table tennis, but it's you against him. And I think I was lucky that happened early in my career. I didn't really have a choice. I had to give him the point, but I think a lot of guys respected me from the beginning. I'm not going to try and win a match if I'm not good enough to win it, and it really made it much easier for me to keep going. Wimbledon the same year, in 1982. It's my first time I met John McEnroe, and he came up to me in the locker room and made the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. He said, "Welcome to the club, Junior." So suddenly I won a Grand Slam. Then on the other side of the coin, I practiced with Jimmy Connors that year on the center court at Roland Garros. And Jimmy has a bit of a temperament, and he gives it all in exhibition, in practice, and he matches anything in golf as well. And he told me in the, actually I can't say it, but in the one changeover, I was winning 4-1, I think. I didn't miss too many balls back then, but I have a great respect for Jimmy Connors, and he you little Swedish something in the changeover in practice. So there was a defining moment. Like, this is the pros. These are the big guys, and I think when guys like McEnroe and Connors and your peers, the ones that are the best players, when they approve of you, that gives you so much confidence and make you feel like you want to be a champion. First time I met, not the first time, I played Björn Borg as well. I was also obviously a very important person in my career, only because he made tennis the biggest sport as it is in Sweden. And we played in Geneva in 1981, first round. And I got a wild card, and I was really excited until I saw that I was playing Björn. And he won the toss, elected to serve, and gave me the first game. After 45 minutes, it was 6-1, 4-love for him. And he gave me another one. So I said, okay. I have utmost respect for Björn and the way he was on court, and utmost respect for Jimmy and John. And I think they welcomed me in their group. And I felt that support that you can never be another Björn Borg, but certainly if you have the qualities, another Swedish tennis player can be a great player as well. And obviously Stefan will be here in a short time, I'm sure. Not easy. I started playing tennis. My dad started playing tennis when he was 40. He was watching Davis Cup. I don't think against Denmark. I think against Italy it was. And I remember very well, I've never seen tennis before. I was 7 years old, and he never held a tennis racket. And I remember him deciding that he was going to build a tennis court at the local factory in my town. So I took my bike the next morning, Monday morning, and there was my father and our neighbor directing all the cars to park over on the lawn, because he wanted to build a tennis court. So he got the asphalt and the roller, and he built the first tennis court in my town. There's only 400 people there, so this was a big thing, and a perfect babysitter. He used to just drop me off there, and he'll send all his friends down and try and beat my son, you know, the thing. So I think without great parents, I think it's impossible to become a great tennis player. I think more importantly, become a good human being. My dad would always call me pretty much every day, and he was always very impressed. He was a very pessimistic person, and he was always very impressed if I beat Anders Jarrett in practice or Joachim Nyström in practice, and he said, "Oh, you can't do that. You must be playing really well." He gave me a lot of confidence to believe in myself. I never felt the pressure. I think that maybe I think some kids maybe do. I think my dad just wanted me to have fun and be serious. He would call me pretty much every day, and my dad passed away in 1990. I know he's watching today, and if it wasn't for him, I would certainly not be here, but I love the game of tennis. I have to thank my dad for that, and I have to thank Jonte. They've shown me that the game is bigger than any player. Rules are rules, line's good. Just play the game, play the sport, keep the integrity of the game intact. And I think what I've taken away from tennis is I think I have respect for my fellow players for that, and I respect anyone that's professional. And that's pretty much pretty much it. I want to thank my wife, Sonia, who's not here yet. She's coming tonight. We got married in 1987, and I had my banner year in 1988. And Jonte said, I found the hunger. I found Sonia. And it was kind of hard to divide your passion into two separate things suddenly. I was not used to that. Tennis was everything. Suddenly you get married, and it's not easy. Tennis doesn't mean everything anymore. And I think I played great because she was with me, and I think that I fell off really fast because she was with me. She was always very supportive. Again, there's so many people you can thank, so many people that meant so much for me. But I have one day maybe I'll come back here. I know that Björn Borg always takes all the records away from me, even before I start. He won the French younger than me. Now he's inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's younger than me, so I can't compete with Björn. Nobody can compete with Björn, but certainly to have a Björn Borg from your country had made things a lot easier in my tennis career. I also want to thank my friends, John, Thomas, Tim, Jonte's wife, Birgitta, who let me use him, and for 12 years, I think. Thank you very much. I know it must many lonely nights, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Mats, at this time, I'd like to present you with the enshrinement certificate. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newest enshrinee, Mats Wilander. Thank you, Mats. Our next enshrinee, ladies and gentlemen, a newlywed fresh off her honeymoon, hails from the great city of Baltimore, Maryland. Her name is Pam Shriver. We'd now like to ask all of you to please rise for the United States National Anthem, also performed by Michelle Passarelli.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. A few years ago, Martina Navratilova took a look at this 6-foot wonder and thought she might make a pretty good doubles partner. How right she was. They obviously made an excellent team, and together they still hold the longest winning streak on the women's tour. To introduce Pam, please welcome our 2000 Hall of Famer, Martina Navratilova. Martina?
Thank you very much. Sorry, I can't see without these. First of all, I'd like to say, Pam, for asking me to do this. That is an honor. Okay, here is how I think it all started. A little more than 40 years ago, this little but long girl was born. And when the doctor slapped her on the back, she slapped him right back. And realized, hey, that was a pretty good forehand volley. I think I will work on that and make something of myself. And she did just that. In the fall of 1980, when I asked Pam Shriver if she would like to play doubles with me the following year, little did I know that that year would turn into 10 and turn us into one of the greatest teams that ever played the game. Yep. So glad I made that phone call. In this world of a very individualistic sport that tennis is, it was truly an honor to be one half of a very dynamite team. But it was also a lot of fun. I mean, we had a great time. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but we always would sit down, talk it out, and on we went. And on and on, and on and on. And like I said, we had fun. I'm sure some of you had wondered what we talked about on the changeovers. Well, because we talked a lot. So let me tell you. I can't tell you. You don't want to know. Sometimes it had to do with tennis. Sometimes it had absolutely nothing to do with tennis. Like I said, we had fun. There have been people that suggested that without me, Pam would not have made it into this Hall of Fame. Well, they are wrong. Pam Shriver would have won with a bunch of other people. Actually, she did. Maybe not as much as she did with me, or as often. But she did win tournaments as well as Grand Slams. And I would also remind these people that a few times I was on the losing end playing singles against Pam Shriver. So she was nothing to sneeze at as a singles player either. And I also know that thanks to this partnership, I have achieved a whole lot more than I would have without it. So thank you, Pam. But to me, more importantly, I think Pam Shriver has become a Hall of Famer in life. In her relatively young existence, she has had to deal with the death of her sister, Marion, and her husband, Joe. It was these tragedies, as well as other hardships, that have turned Pam into an amazing human being. And I'm truly honored to be a part of your life, Pam. Thank you. So, let's see. An excellent tennis player, an excellent singles player, a fabulous doubles player, former president of the Women's Tennis Association, a USTA board member, a TV analyst, a passionate tennis proponent. Yeah, I think we can let you in. And to think it all started with just a little slap. So without further ado, it is truly my honor and privilege to introduce to you the latest inductee into the Hall of Fame, my true friend, Pam Shriver.
Well, this must be really important. It's my first speech with index cards. Thank you so much, Martina, for making the effort to come here today and being my presenter. I can tell you when I received that phone call, I think it was like October the 12th at about 5:30 in the afternoon down in Deerfield Beach, Florida. I was called off the practice court because Martina was calling. And it resulted in this 10-year partnership that we were both so very proud of. and is certainly one of the main reasons why I am standing here today. I can tell you the view I had alongside the greatest complete tennis player of all time, someone who's won over 160 singles and doubles titles, was spectacular. And I can tell you her view as my opponent was equally spectacular from her point of view. But as she mentioned, I did have a couple of wins, and I'd now like to devote the rest of my speech to those wins. I want to thank another partner of mine, somebody that I've been a partner with in the broadcast booth. Tony Trabert's been my partner at the US Open the last few years, and also he was my partner my very first telecast 20 years ago. And I think Tony Trabert, as president of the Hall of Fame, he is a fantastic example of how the champions and the Hall of Fame members must give back to our sport, must give back to the Hall of Fame. He's an unbelievable example and somebody I look up to. Thank you, Tony. While we're on the Hall of Fame, and folks, I want to thank Mark Stenning and all of his staff, to Jan Leschly, the chairman, Joe Coleman, somebody near and dear to women's tennis as well as the Hall of Fame, and a fantastic volunteer leadership that is really inspiring. I want to congratulate Mats Wilander. His career was during my career, and I remember a lot of the great moments. And I just want to mention one quick thing once again on that point, 1982 French Open. This year, 20 years later, I was back at the French for the first time for ESPN, and there was a driver of a car who was taking me back to where I was staying, and the driver talked about Mats and how, to this day, he and his 11-year-old son, when they compete on the tennis court, when they play tennis, they play by something called Mats's rules. And I thought that is a fantastic legacy to a great champion. Well, I've already had several mentions of partnerships, and it's something so important in one's life. And I think doubles actually helped me realize that when efforts are joined together for a common goal, whether it's to win a tennis match, to grow the game, or to live life together, and when that effort is made better by working as one, then you know you are a part of something worthwhile. A month ago yesterday, in fact, George Lazenby and I tied the knot. And he's worth applauding, believe me. And this now is the partnership that I cherish most. It's the most important partnership going forward. I've found in the past 6 or 7 years, as my playing career slowed then stopped, that my ability to be open to and be committed to the ultimate partnership has grown. I do wish, however, that George had been able to see one or two of my good matches instead of the 4 lousy sets of 35 and over doubles last year at Wimbledon. And therefore, about a month ago, when my mom shipped some stuff back from Baltimore to LA, there was a videotape of my last really good win in singles. It was over Groff at Madison Square Garden in 1988, her Grand Slam year. So over breakfast one day in the kitchen, slipped in the tape, and we got to watch Shriver beat Groff. And let me tell you what, it was really the best breakfast I've ever had. A player's career is mostly built by one's parents and primary coach, and I've been blessed in both categories. As a recreational player, mom and dad loved the sport. When I was 3 or 4, they introduced me to the game, figured out how to keep me interested by doing all those fun and subtle things. While always loving and caring for me, they kept a distance from my tennis as I grew older that allowed our family to not be imbalanced by one child's activities, or and then also therefore allow my independence. And because of that, and for so many other reasons, my love for you grows each and every day. Thanks, Mom and Dad. A partnership is also needed between parents and the children in the family to have that healthy family atmosphere. My sister Eleanor is here, and I want to thank her for all of her support. When she was 8 was when I was in the finals of the US Open, and having a high-profile sibling is not that easy. And I also want to thank the extended members of my Shriver family for being here today. There are 2 people that are no longer with us today, and I want to remember my late husband, Joe Shapiro, who passed away 3 years ago. He helped me make the transition from the pro game to the next phase of my life. He also helped me deal with the loss of my older sister, Marion. Marion was 2 years older than me, a school teacher, and my roommate. In fact, during the best years of my tennis career, we roomed together. And while you can be blessed with a new mate, you can never be blessed again with an older sibling, and I certainly miss Marion. Let me tell you what, not many 40-year-olds, and I turned 40 like 10 days ago. This is really a traumatic time for me. Not many 40-year-olds standing here being inducted into the Hall of Fame can have a grandmother with them. My grandmother, Moppy, flew in from San Diego yesterday. She's only 93 years of age. She has such a passion for the sport of tennis each and every day, and I know that is why I have such a passion for the sport. Moppy, God bless. When I was 9 years old, I got in my Christmas stocking a gift certificate for a tennis lesson from Don Candy. Don became my coach during my developing years and many of my years on the tour. He recognized early on that a tall, duck-footed, attention-deficit child should serve and volley, should attack second serves and approach on short balls, basically smother the opponent from the net. I appreciated his wonderful Aussie sense of humor and his link to past generations of tennis players. And that's tennis players that I got to know because of Don. Thank you very much. There were 3 other very brave men who also took turns coaching me, and I was not easy to deal with. I had a temper, a petulant streak, as well as an overdose of stubbornness. First, Jeff Lamborn, who was the first coach to really help me, not just with my game, but on a regular basis, pick me up at age 11 and 12 from school, take me to the practice courts, and making sure during the Baltimore Winters that I played some tennis. Starting in 1985, Hank Harris coached me for the next 5 years. Hank and Elaine, actually his wife, they met at a tournament in Zurich. So even Hank's life changed because of my tennis. And they're both here today. Eric Riley, he had the tough job, the mop-up job at the very end, the backside of a career that we had some fun moments, but believe me, it was not all sunshine in the 90s for Shriver. But we had a great time, lots of laughs, and I appreciate everything you did. I have many friends from Los Angeles, Baltimore, my hometown, my dear hometown, and the tennis world. I want to thank them as a group for all their support, and you'll be grateful that I won't thank each and every one of them individually. But I would like to mention a few that sort of take care of some important categories. First off, housing. When you're a tennis player, even a junior tennis player, oftentimes you get to stay with families. And I have had the most fortunate family here in Newport, Richard and Dee Gordon, who've been my Newport family. Thank you very much. Junior tennis friends. From the age of 9, Lisa Busco Johnson was across the net for me, and she beat the hell out of me early on, and then fortunately for my career, well, anyway. Lisa, thanks for being here today. Tournament directors and promoters. Sarah Fornashari. I'm going to read these. You guys hold your applause to the end. How about that? Tournament directors and promoters. Sarah Fornashari was the tournament director of the first tournament I played when I was 15 years of age in Washington, D.C., and the last tournament I played at 37 years of age in 1997. Sarah, thank you. Agents. Jill Smoller is here, and she's helping me today with my broadcast career. I want to thank you very much. Grand Slams, the 4 majors. The U.S. Open, of course, has to be singled out. It's where I got to the finals. The USTA Board of Directors, who I'm in partnership with trying to grow the game, they're all here. I want to thank the 3 presidents that I've served under, Merv Heller, who we've heard from earlier, Harry Marmion, who can't be here because his wife is singing in a choral group, and he sent me a note, and Harry's got his priorities right. Judy Levering, the first woman president of the USTA, my role model, thank you for being here. I also want to thank Rick Furman and the staff of the USTA. They are an incredible professional group. And there's another partnership that does so much for tennis. Players. I don't know, it's a tough one here, but I got to single out a couple. Zina Garrison. We won an Olympic gold medal together in 1988 in Seoul, Korea. She's a dear, dear friend, and I love you. Great to see you here. My broadcast partner, Mary Jo Fernandez, was supposed to be here, but her 6-month-old came down with an ear infection. We played the US Open Finals in '89. Somehow or other, we lost to a team called Navratilova and Manlikova, but that's a whole nother speech. I want to thank Mary Jo for being my great partner on ESPN broadcasts to this day. Betty Stova is here. In 1980, we got to the finals of the US Open, and then about 5 weeks later, Martina called me. So Betty, thanks a lot. You helped a tremendous amount. Women's Sports Legends, a group that are here represented, and 2 individuals that just are incredible. Rosie Casals, who's become a dear friend and lives in Northern California, and of course, Billie Jean King. Every woman tennis player who ever stands on this podium from here into eternity ought to thank Billie Jean King for all of her efforts and her leadership. Sponsors. Where would tennis be without sponsors? And representing the sponsorship category, you have to thank Philip Morris and Virginia Slims, and I have a lot of friendships from those years. WTA Tour, Peachy Kalmeyer is here. The WTA Tour, near and dear. I was president of the organization, and Peachy's been around since I started to play. I don't know, probably since Alice Marble started to play. No, just kidding, Peach. Umpires, Lee Jackson is here. Lee Jackson called many of my matches. I yelled at Lee once or twice. We've had lots of laughs. She's like a mother for all the women on the tour. Lee, thank you. Administrators and just great tennis people, I want to thank Jane Brown for her long friendship. Started here at the Hall of Fame, the Women's Tennis Council, the USTA Board, and just a good old-fashioned friend. Thank you very, very much. The home office in Baltimore. My Baltimore means so much to me, and 2 people, Mark and Genji, Mark Kantrowitz, Genji Vegas, they keep things going there. We want to run a charity event every year, and I couldn't do half of what I do without your help. Thank you so much. Now, you always need that lifetime friend, that friend that goes through the whole scene with you, right? From like the 12 and unders, and you yell at each other because of a bad call, and then you graduate on to the 14s, 16s, 18s. You both go to the pro tour, except you're also born a couple of miles apart in the same town of Baltimore, and you become lifelong friends. Elise Bergen has been an unbelievable friend to me in so many ways, and I want to thank her very, very much. I'm on the last page of the index card, so. As you can see, I've been blessed with great relationships and fantastic partnerships. The sport of tennis, particularly doubles, teaches you in subtle ways about being a good partner. I truly believe what matters most in life is the quality of your partnerships. In closing, this day is one of the most emotional days. I've already cried about 6, 7 times, but thanks to tennis, writers and voters, I want to thank them for including me with an incredible group of champions that's up there in the museum. And I really hope that everybody here, before you leave, either today or tomorrow after the finals, you go up to that museum and you visit all the great players from the late 1800s all the way through to today. It's a remarkable museum and Hall of Fame, and I want to thank everybody here that makes this great monument to our sport possible. It is truly humbling now to be on one of those columns up there as you walk into that first room and to share a column with Lendl, Navratilova, and Mats Wilander. So in closing, I want to thank again my partner of 10 years, Martina Navratilova, my friend for life, for coming today. She brought her beautiful dog with her as well. What's the dog's name? Madison. Martina's one of the great animal lovers of all time, and Madison made the trip as well. In the meantime, enjoy the tennis as well. We've got some great matches coming up, and God bless everybody.
Pam, congratulations, you got through it. And it's my pleasure now to give you this enshrinement certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, our newest enshrinee, Pam Shriver. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. In keeping with tradition, I would now like to ask the newest members of the International Tennis Hall of Fame to take a walk around the Bill Talbert Center Court. Pam and Mats, your families, friends, and fans await you. On the International Tennis Hall of Fame, I would like to congratulate our two newest enshrinees, Pam Shriver and Mats Wilander.